Welcome back. If this content is helping you travel smarter, hit like and subscribe so you never miss a video. Morocco divides first-time visitors into two very distinct camps. There are the people who feel overwhelmed, overstimulated, and quietly relieved to be back at the departure gate. And there are the people who fall completely in love with the country and start planning the return before the first trip is even over. The difference between those two experiences almost always comes down to one thing: how prepared someone was before they arrived. This video is everything needed to land solidly in the second camp. Morocco sits at the northern tip of Africa, separated from Spain by just 14 kilometers of water across the Strait of Gibraltar. That closeness to Europe means it is reachable from dozens of European cities on short, often very affordable flights. Under 3 hours from most Western European hubs, and sometimes under 2 from southern Spain or Portugal. It draws an enormous range of travelers as a result. Honeymooners, solo adventurers, families, budget travelers, and luxury seekers all find what they are looking for here. Morocco is a country of genuine, sometimes startling contrasts. Medieval medinas and modern apartment blocks, Saharan sand dunes and snow-capped Atlas mountain peaks, Atlantic surf coastline, and calm Mediterranean coves. Very few countries pack this much variety into a single destination. The two main entry airports are in Casablanca, airport code CMN, and Marrakesh, airport code RAK. Marrakesh is pronounced Marrakesh. It is the most visited city in the country and has direct connections from across Europe and beyond. Casablanca functions more as a commercial hub and connection point than a destination in its own right, though if passing through it is worth knowing, the Hassan II Mosque is one of the largest in the world and genuinely worth seeing. Hassan II is said Hassan II. Now the cities, because Morocco's cities are where the heart of the trip will be spent, and each one has a completely distinct personality. Marrakesh is where most first-timers begin, and for good reason. The city is visually overwhelming in the best possible sense. The Djemma El Fna, said Djemma El Fna, is the central square at the heart of the Medina, and it is one of the most extraordinary public spaces anywhere in the world. During the day, it is relatively calm, with orange juice vendors, henna artists, and wandering musicians filling the space. By early evening, it transforms completely. Hundreds of food stalls appear, smoke rises from charcoal grills, musicians play Nawa rhythms, Nawa is said Nawa. Storytellers gather crowds, and the entire square becomes one long, loud, beautiful, chaotic sensory experience. Eating dinner in the middle of it on the first evening is one of those travel memories that tends to stay with people for years. The Medina surrounding the square is a maze of narrow covered alleyways called derbs, said derbs, filled with souks selling everything from spices and argan oil to leather goods, hand-woven textiles, hand-hammered metalwork, and painted ceramics. Getting slightly lost in there is part of the experience. The Medina is not designed to be navigated efficiently, and that is entirely the point. The Koutoubia Mosque minaret, said Koutoubia, is visible above the rooftops from most of the Medina and functions as a reliable compass point throughout the day. The ideal place to stay in Marrakesh is a riad. A riad is a traditional Moroccan house built around a central interior courtyard, often with a rooftop terrace above. They tend to be quiet and shaded inside even when the city outside is blazing, and the rooftop views across the Medina at sunset are unlike anything else. Booking well in advance is strongly recommended, especially during the shoulder seasons of spring and autumn, when the best riads fill up fast. Fes, sometimes spelled F-E-S and sometimes F-E-Z, always said Fez, is arguably the more intellectually rich of Morocco's imperial cities. Its Medina is a UNESCO World Heritage Site and is widely considered the largest car-free urban area in the world. No motorized vehicles operate inside it. Everything moves by foot, by donkey, or by bicycle. The result is a city that operates at a pace and within a physical space that feels genuinely medieval, which it largely is, since much of Fes el Barli, said Fez el Bahli, the old walled city, dates back to the 8th and 9th centuries. The tanneries are the most photographed site in Fes, particularly Chouara Tannery, said Chouara. The best views come from the leather shops that ring the tanneries at the upper levels. Most shop owners will invite visitors up to their terrace and offer a small sprig of fresh mint to hold near the nose, which is a practical and kind gesture given the smell of the natural dyes working below. Fes takes real time to absorb. A minimum of 2 nights, ideally 3, allows the place to begin to make sense and reveal itself properly. Chefchaouen, said Chef Shaouen, is the blue city in the Rif Mountains, and it earns its reputation completely. The buildings in the old Medina are painted in dozens of shades of blue. Pale powder blue, deep indigo, washed out turquoise. And the visual effect is genuinely as beautiful as every photograph suggests, which is rare. It has become a popular stop on the northern Morocco circuit and can feel busy during peak season, but the town is compact enough that the crowds thin noticeably by early morning and again in the late afternoon. The surrounding mountains also offer good hiking, including the walk up to the Spanish mosque above town for panoramic views across the blue rooftops. Chefchaouen works well as a 2-night stop, enough time to slow right down and explore without rushing. The Sahara Desert is the experience that tips Morocco from a great trip into an unforgettable one for many travellers. The main access point is the village of Merzouga, said Merzouga, near the Erg Chebi Dunes, said Erg Chebi. The classic experience involves a camel ride into the desert as the sun sets over the dunes, a night at a desert camp under a sky with more stars than most people have ever seen in one place, and an early morning wake-up for sunrise. It is as good as it sounds. Organised desert tours from Marrakech typically run 3 days and 2 nights. The drive itself passes through remarkable scenery, including the Dades Gorge, said Dardez, and the Todra Gorge, said Todra, which are genuinely spectacular in their own right. Booking with a reputable operator matters here. Reading recent reviews carefully before committing is always the recommended approach. On money, Morocco uses the dirham, abbreviated MAD. It is not widely convertible outside the country, so arriving with local currency means using airport exchange desks or ATMs on arrival. Cash is still important to carry throughout the trip, for markets, small guest houses, street food, and anywhere that does not take cards. Bargaining in the souks is expected, is culturally normal, and is part of the experience rather than an inconvenience. Starting well below the asking price and negotiating in a relaxed and friendly way is the standard approach. Accepting a glass of mint tea during the back and forth is hospitality and not a commitment to buy. It is one of the genuine pleasures of the whole process. The food is one of Morocco's most consistent highlights. The tagine, said tagine, is a slow-cooked stew served in the distinctive conical clay pot it is prepared in, and it appears everywhere in regional variations. Lamb with prunes and almonds, chicken with preserved lemon and olives, kefta meatballs with egg, kefta is said kefta. The pastilla, said pastilla, is a flaky pastry, traditionally filled with pigeon or chicken and almonds with a dusting of powdered sugar. It sounds unusual, and it is extraordinary. Couscous is traditionally served on Fridays. Harira soup, said Harira, is rich, warming and deeply satisfying at any time of day. Street food across the country is generally excellent, and busy stalls with high turnover are the most reliable guide to quality. Morocco is widely regarded by experienced travellers as a safe destination, and the vast majority of visits pass without any significant incident. As in any city with heavy tourist traffic anywhere in the world, staying aware in crowded areas and keeping valuables secure goes a long way. Booking guides for Medina tours through established platforms, rather than accepting unsolicited offers on the street, is the consistently recommended approach from travellers who know the country well. Morocco is unlike anywhere else on Earth. The colours are different, the sounds are different, the pace is different. Go in with curiosity, go in with patience, and it will almost certainly rearrange the way travel feels altogether. Have a remarkable trip.